If you're over 60 and you've been feeling like your tank is running on empty, if things in the bedroom aren't quite what they used to be, and you're starting to wonder whether your best years are behind you, I need you to stop right there. Because what I'm about to share with you today could genuinely change everything. I'm talking about 3 simple nuts. Yeah, nuts. The kind you can grab at any Walmart, any Trader Joe's, any grocery store in America. And these 3 nuts might just be the missing piece to getting your energy back, restoring your drive, and improving your blood flow in ways you haven't felt in years. No prescriptions, no expensive supplements, no sketchy pills from the internet. Just real natural foods that work with your body to fight back against what aging has been trying to take from you. I'm Dr. Chloe Bennett, and I've spent over 25 years helping men reclaim their strength, their confidence, and honestly, their sense of who they are. I've sat across from thousands of men in my practice, and I can tell you right now, getting older does not mean giving up. It means getting smarter about how you fuel your body. And here's what most guys don't realize. These 3 nuts support better circulation, stronger erections, and healthier hormone levels. And they do it by working with your biology, not against it. In the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through exactly how each one works, why they're even more powerful when you use them together, the number 1 mistake older men make that completely sabotages their results, and a dead simple daily routine that could help you feel like yourself again. And I mean really feel like yourself, the way you did 10, maybe 15 years ago. So stick with me here, because this is important. Let's start with the first nut, walnuts. I call them the king of circulation, and there's a good reason for that. I still remember this one patient, a 68-year-old guy from right outside of Dallas. Good man, hardworking, retired from the oil industry. He walked into my office looking like he'd already given up. He told me, "Doc, it's like my body just stopped listening to me." He wanted to be there for his wife. The desire was there. The love was there. But physically, things just weren't cooperating anymore. And let me tell you, I hear this more often than you'd think, way more often. In most cases, the problem isn't desire, it's blood flow. That's why the first nut we need to talk about is the humble walnut. I know it doesn't look like much sitting there in a bowl, but it's one of the most powerful foods you can eat to support your circulation. And if your circulation isn't strong, everything else falls apart. Erections, energy, mental clarity, all of it starts and ends with blood flow. Here's the science behind it, and I'll keep it simple. Walnuts are loaded with something called L-arginine, an amino acid that helps your body produce nitric oxide. Now, nitric oxide is the compound that relaxes your blood vessels and lets blood flow more freely throughout your entire body. When you're younger, your body cranks out plenty of it on its own. But after 60, those levels drop off fast. That's where walnuts come in. They help restore that natural function, keeping your blood vessels open, flexible, and responsive. On top of that, they're rich in omega-3 fatty acids, which reduce inflammation and improve cardiovascular health. And those 2 things matter deeply to any man who wants to perform at his best, whether that's in the bedroom, at the gym, or just keeping up with the grandkids at the park on a Saturday afternoon. I've had patients tell me that after adding just a small handful of walnuts to their evening routine, their energy came back within a couple of weeks. They were waking up with stronger morning erections, feeling more alert during the day, and having more stamina overall. That's not a miracle. That's just biology doing what it's supposed to do, once you give it the right support. And the beautiful thing is, walnuts are easy. No pills, no prescriptions. Just a natural tool your body already knows how to use. You can toss them in some oatmeal, eat them with a little dark chocolate after dinner, or just grab a handful straight out of the bag while you're watching the game. It doesn't have to be complicated. Now, let's talk about the second nut, and this one might surprise you. Pistachios. I call them the erection enhancer, and before you raise an eyebrow, hear me out. A few years back, I had a patient, 72 years old, retired Marine, living out in Arizona. Tough as nails on the outside, but quietly frustrated on the inside. He told me, "Doc, it's like I'm there mentally, but physically my body just doesn't show up anymore." He'd tried the pills, Viagra, Cialis, all of it. But they left him feeling awful, dizzy, flushed, headaches, and frankly embarrassed. What he wanted was something natural, something that worked with his body instead of against it. That's when I introduced him to pistachios. Most people think of pistachios as just a snack, something you munch on during a football game or grab at a gas station. But what they don't know is that pistachios are one of the very few foods that have been clinically shown to improve erectile function naturally. There was a fascinating study out of Turkey where men who added pistachios to their daily diet for just 3 weeks experienced significant improvements in the firmness of their erections, how long they lasted, and their overall sexual satisfaction. No drugs, no gimmicks, just real food making a real difference. Now I know what some of you might be thinking. 3 weeks? That sounds too good to be true. But the research backs it up, and I've seen it play out in my own practice more times than I can count. Pistachios are rich in arginine, just like walnuts, which helps your body boost nitric oxide production. That means better blood flow, especially to the areas where you need it most. But what sets pistachios apart is their unique combination of antioxidants, healthy fats, and plant sterols. These are nutrients that support vascular health, reduce inflammation, and even help lower bad cholesterol levels. All of that translates into one thing: better performance with more confidence and less frustration. When my patient started adding a small handful of unsalted pistachios to his day, usually right after lunch, he started noticing changes within about 2 weeks. Stronger morning erections, more spontaneous desire, and best of all, the feeling that his body was finally responding again. He called me up and said, "Doc, I feel like I got 10 years back, and that right there is why I do what I do." Now here's the third nut, and honestly, this might be the most important one of all: Brazil nuts. I call them the hormone restorer, and let me explain why. I had a patient a while back, 66 years old, sharp as a tack, still active, still very much in love with his wife. But something was off. He told me he just didn't feel like himself anymore. His energy wasn't there. His interest in intimacy had faded. It was like his whole system was slowing down. Even though he was fighting against it every day, he was doing everything right on paper. Walking every morning, eating clean, staying hydrated. But something deeper was out of balance. That's when I asked him about selenium. He looked at me like I was speaking a foreign language, and honestly, most men have never even heard of it. But selenium is one of the most powerful and overlooked minerals for men's health, and Brazil nuts are absolutely loaded with it. Just 1 or 2 Brazil nuts a day can dramatically support testosterone production, improve sperm health, and even help protect your prostate. And I want to pause right here for a second because I know a lot of you watching this have concerns about your prostate. I get questions about it all the time. Now, I want to be straightforward with you. If you're already dealing with significant prostate issues, whether it's BPH or something more serious, these nuts are a great supplement to your overall health. But they're not a replacement for seeing your doctor. Selenium supports prostate health as part of the bigger picture. But if you've got real symptoms like frequent urination at night, difficulty starting your stream, or pain, please get that checked out. There's no shame in it, and catching things early makes all the difference. Now back to my patient. When he started eating just 1 Brazil nut every morning, things began to shift slowly but surely. First it was his mood, less brain fog, more drive, more clarity. But by the end of the first month, he noticed something else entirely. His libido was back, and he wasn't forcing it. It was natural, like his body had been waiting for permission to feel like a man again. He told me, "Doc, my wife noticed before I did. She said I had a spark in my eyes again." The beauty of Brazil nuts is their simplicity. You don't need handfuls. In fact, too many can actually do more harm than good, because selenium in very high doses isn't healthy. But that 1 nut a day becomes like a little insurance policy for your hormones, keeping your testosterone in check, your energy steady, and your performance ready to go. Now here's where it all comes together. And this is the part I really want you to pay attention to. Because one thing I've learned after 25 years of working with men is this: your body doesn't heal in isolation. It thrives on synergy, on the right pieces working together, not just separately. That's exactly what happens when you combine walnuts, pistachios, and Brazil nuts into a daily routine. Each nut on its own offers incredible benefits, but when you combine all 3, they do something remarkable. They support and amplify each other in a way your body actually feels. I had a patient, 71 years old, retired school principal from outside of Chicago. He tried each of these nuts at different points over the years, but never consistently. He'd eat pistachios for a while, then forget about them. A few months later, he'd read about walnuts and try those. Always hit or miss, never a real commitment. He came to me saying, "Doc, I've tried all this stuff, but I don't feel any different." So I asked him to try something different. Not just eat the nuts randomly, but commit to all three together every single day for 21 days. That's it, 3 weeks. What happened after those 3 weeks blew him away. He came back in and said, "I don't know what's going on, but I've got more energy in the mornings. I feel lighter." And my wife noticed I'm more present. That last word stuck with me, present, because that's what this combination gives you. Not just physical improvements, but a renewed sense of being fully alive in your body again. Being there, really being there, for the people you love and for yourself. The walnut supports blood flow by opening up the pathways that keep your heart, your brain, and your erections strong. The pistachio builds on that foundation, improving the quality and duration of erections. And the Brazil nut quietly restores your hormonal engine, giving you the edge from the inside out. It's a full circle approach that covers the 3 most common challenges men face after 60: circulation, performance, and drive. Now let me give you the daily routine that brings it all together, because I know a lot of you are thinking, "Okay, doc, just tell me what to do." And I respect that. I've had so many men come to me overwhelmed by all the health advice out there. Supplements stacked up on their kitchen counter, half-read books, tips from friends, doctors, the internet, everybody pulling them in different directions. And I always tell them the same thing. Lasting change doesn't come from doing more. It comes from doing the right things consistently. That's why I designed this routine to be simple, sustainable, and effective. No gym membership required, no complicated meal plan, no dozen pills to keep track of. Just a few intentional choices made every day that work together to rebuild what age has been trying to wear down. Here's what I recommend. In the morning, start with 1 Brazil nut. Just 1. It's small, it's easy to remember, and it delivers a powerful dose of selenium to support your testosterone and protect your prostate. A lot of my patients keep a small jar right next to their bathroom sink. 1 nut right after brushing your teeth. No excuses, no forgetting. Now, for those of you wondering where to find Brazil nuts, most grocery stores carry them in the nut aisle, usually near the almonds and cashews. Trader Joe's, Whole Foods, Costco, they all have them. You can also order them online from Amazon if your local store doesn't stock them. They're not expensive, and a bag will last you a couple of months since you only need 1 a day. At midday, grab a handful of unsalted pistachios, especially if you've been feeling that afternoon energy dip. They'll help stabilize your blood sugar, improve circulation, and give your body the nutrients it needs to power up erection strength and stamina. Plus, they're a genuinely great snack, way better than reaching for chips or cookies out of the vending machine. In the evening, about an hour before bed, have a small handful of walnuts. This doesn't just support blood flow repair overnight. It also calms inflammation and helps prepare your body for rest and recovery. Think of it as fuel for your body while you sleep, letting it do the repair work it needs to do so you wake up feeling refreshed and ready. That's it. 3 small steps repeated daily. And yet I've seen these simple choices radically change the lives of men who thought their best days were over. They gained energy, confidence, and intimacy not by chasing perfection, but by honoring their body with the right fuel at the right time. Now I want to get real with you for a minute because one of the hardest parts of my job isn't diagnosing problems. It's helping men see that they've quietly given up, not in a dramatic way, not all at once, but slowly over time. It usually starts with a shrug, a little less energy, a little less drive, maybe a few awkward moments in the bedroom. And instead of asking why or looking for solutions, most men just wave it off with, "I guess this is just part of getting older." That mindset, that quiet resignation, that's the biggest mistake I see. It's not what your body's doing that hurts you most. It's what you're no longer doing in response. Waiting, ignoring, assuming nothing will change. That's what slowly robs you of your vitality, not age itself. The mistake isn't in getting older. The mistake is in assuming that getting older means giving up. It doesn't. Not if you stay curious, take action, and give your body what it needs to function the way it was designed to. Now, you've learned about 3 simple but powerful foods. Walnuts to open up your blood flow and keep your circulation strong. Pistachios to bring the power back to your performance and support natural, lasting erections. and Brazil nuts to quietly restore your hormonal balance and protect your prostate. Separately, each one can make a real difference, but together they work in harmony, supporting your heart, your hormones, and your manhood. That's not hype, that's biology. That's how the body works when we stop fighting it and start feeding it the way nature intended. The key now is consistency. 1 Brazil nut in the morning, a handful of pistachios at midday, a few walnuts before bed. These aren't just snacks, they're statements. They say, I'm not done yet. I've got more to give and I deserve to feel strong in my body. The real transformation isn't just in how you feel physically, it's in how you start carrying yourself again. Standing a little taller, more engaged, more connected to the people you love. I've seen the spark come back. I've seen shoulders lift, smiles return, relationships deepen. Not because of some magic cure, but because a man chose to believe his life wasn't over just because a calendar said he was past 60. And if you've got specific health concerns, whether it's your prostate, your blood pressure medication, or anything else, talk to your doctor about adding these to your routine. I always tell my patients, these nuts are teammates, not replacements. They work best alongside good medical care, not instead of it. If today's message stirred something in you, if even a small part of this spoke to that part of you that's been quiet for too long, I want you to start. Start today. Small, consistent steps. Feed your body, reclaim your strength, and remind yourself in the world that your best years aren't over. They're just getting started. You've still got time and you've still got what it takes.